So we'll be talking about National College of Ireland, and that is NCI. It's in Dublin, right? And they have a lot of courses. Sorry that I might be distracted because I'm trying to, connect him to the live so that you can get this information straight or directly from him. So at some point I might have to, try to connect and then keep talking and everything. So they have a lot of courses. They have business courses. They have IT related courses. That's managerial courses and IT related courses. Um, which is one of the you know professional courses or professions rather that is mainly required. Ireland, there are a lot of IT companies over there, also business related um, companies or organizations over there that need people who are in the business or the managerial aspect or even the IT aspect. And Ireland is one of the best places to study any IT related courses. So courses like international business, very good, cyber security, they have financial fintech as well. So some of us who probably, have experience in accounting or finance, and then you want to now do both the financial aspect and the technological aspect, you can actually go for an MS in fintech, and National College of Ireland have these courses, right? They have this because they even have computing, and then there are some people that obviously don't have an experience in IT, right? And you also have an interest in going into IT. Of course, you can with your BSc that you have in probably a different area you want to. You can actually go for um, a higher diploma in IT, maybe computing for 1 year, right? And then after that 1 year of computing, you then go for a direct master's in Ireland. So that makes it 2 years. So you're not even, exempted from not doing this program because doing like a computing program because you didn't have a background in it. That is why there is a 1 year diploma for you, higher diploma for you to, study that course. Let me try seeing if I can connect Michael Galvin again. Okay, so I think Michael Galvin just joined. Hi, Michael.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very fine, thank you. How are you doing?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Can you hear me?
Yes, of course, definitely. So sorry that I couldn't connect you earlier. I guess the reception wasn't so strong for me to connect you. Why
Okay.
the funny face?
What? Oh, there's a funny. I must have pressed a button by mistake. Hold on. Let me find out. I was trying to get the sound right. There's something going on. Hold on.
Definitely.
What? Is it gone?
Okay, yes, it's gone. It's better now. No, it's
Okay,
back.
good, good.
It's back.
All
It's
right,
so
let me
funny.
let me let me check. Something's going wrong here. Oh, hold on. There we go. Normal, normal.
Yeah,
It just I did a software update. Something weird popped up there. Sorry about
no
that.
problem. No problem. No problem. Hope you're good. How's work? How's Ireland, Dublin today?
Good, yeah, yeah. It's all cool, nice and sunny here.
I don't know. Like, there's still some funny faces on you. The
Something, something going wrong. I don't know what it is. I'll fix it. Hold on a second. There we go. Normal.
okay.
Sorry, I'll stop pressing the screen.
I think this.
How's everything in Lagos? How your day?
I'll be fine. So I think I should give you the floor to say hello to everyone once again.
Oh yeah,
Then we can take it up from there. Yeah.
Bawoni. Oruku meaning Michael. I'm Michael Galvin. I work for the regional manager in the international office for National College of Ireland, based in Dublin. We are celebrating our 70th year since we were first established in 1951 this year. Unfortunately, we're not on campus yet, but we hope to be by September 2021. We've been working with NCI Limited for about 5-6 years, I think, about 5 years. I have been working with NCI anyway for about that period of time. Yeah. What can I tell you?
Okay, so there are a lot of questions. You'll be telling us about National College of Ireland. Of course, you already told us that you are the regional manager, but then you'll be telling us about National College of Ireland. You're going to be telling us about, courses available in National College of Ireland. You would, let us know if it's possible for persons like with programs in National College of Ireland, can people use the certificate, to, practice or work outside, Ireland?
Sure.
The certificate, exactly. So you can actually
I'll give you a quick.
give us, breakdown. Tell us about the courses, the tuition fee, are there like scholarships available, and from there. Then after that, we can now go down to the visa part. But right now, we want to know about the courses available, especially the master's program. And I hear that there is a higher diploma of computing. So who are the people that are qualified for such programs? So you can just, the floor is yours. Give us all the information.
Sure. Okay. Thanks, Quincy. Yeah. So National College of Ireland is located in the centre of the capital of Ireland, which is Dublin. We are located within the International Financial Services District. Our core sort of programs that we have a lot of Nigerian students coming on to are in the schools of computing and business on master's basis. So we do have undergraduate programs, but I'd say nearly 100% of the students that have come in the last 4 years have predominantly all come on to either a conversion program into the field of computing or straight onto a master's program. So Ireland has become the Silicon Valley for Europe. We have over 1,000 multinational companies there, big tech companies, also big financial services companies. And so the School of Business and School of Computing programs in NCI all filter into students graduating and going to work in careers in these areas. So NCI's main programs in School of Computing, we have 4 master's programs in cloud computing, data analytics, fintech, and cybersecurity. I would say cybersecurity is probably the most popular program from Nigeria, but they are all 1-year master's programs. They have 2 intakes per year in September and in January on the School of Computing side. So it's 2 taught semesters and a project or dissertation. For business programs, then we have programs in human resource management, business, marketing, MSc in finance, entrepreneurship, international business and management. These are all 1-year programs if you start in September. If you start in January, they're slightly longer with a 4-month window opportunity to do an internship in the middle instead. So it just depends on when the student starts. Our next intake coming up is in September. The classes start on the 13th of September. The entry requirements for our master's programs are generally you must have a 2-2, a second class lower honours is generally the entry requirement. For MSc Finance, generally look for a 2-1, but all the rest of the programs a 2-2. And if you're looking at computing, obviously you must come from either a computing or a technical background. So if you don't have, like, if you've done, say, computer science or computer applications, computer engineering, and you're thinking of a career in or masters in cybersecurity, data analytics, cloud computing, you will have computer programming skills. If you come from a science, technology, maybe an engineering background or a mathematics background, you can still access these programs if you have done computer programming. So if you haven't covered it in your degree, you may have work experience and you may have done professional certificates online. You might have learned Python or Java or C or C++ or or one of the programming languages commonly used. You might have went off and learned that online, or you might have done cryptography or some security certificates online, CompTIA or something like that. It's for students into the master's program. So you either come in directly, if you don't have those skill sets and you want to access computing, maybe you've heard there's loads of jobs in it. I want to go and work in Google in Ireland. They've got fantastic salaries and great job opportunities and interesting careers. They do. And so do loads of other companies. And you can access these if you don't have a computing background, but are interested and maybe have a flair for computing and want to go and work in that sector. You could do a 1-year conversion program. You still must have a 2-2 honours degree at minimum. You could take a higher diploma in computing. It's a 1-year conversion program. It'll cost you €8,000 for a tuition fee in NCI, and after that year, then you have an option to work in the Irish economy for a year or progress straight into a master's program. So once you pass that, and that's three semesters, 12 months, and you have access into the masters in cloud data, fintech, or cybersecurity. Now, our tuition fees for all our master's programs are €15,000, but we do have some scholarships based on your academic entry. So if you have a 2-2, you get €2,000 discount. If you have a 2-1, you get a €4,000 scholarship. And every year we do have Future Leader Scholarship Program. However, the closing date for that was the 30th of April, and recipients are being told this week. So 5 lucky recipients out of, I think just 20 globally will have got that. We always have 1 or 2 students from Nigeria, a lot of smart people out there. So you do find some students for first class honours, and we have some other scholarship. We still have some places available on a women in business scholarship for any women out there who've maybe done something exceptional, maybe in the community or in the workplace, or have a fantastic, maybe a first class honours. There's a new sort of 50% scholarship available there on that. And we may have 1 or 2 places left on an entrepreneurship scholarship as well for students looking at masters in entrepreneurship. Nigerians are fairly entrepreneurial by nature. Most people have some sort of side business or side hustle on the go at the same time. Keep surviving and pushing. From what I've seen, anytime I've been in Lagos, anyway, that's what I've noticed. Everybody's doing something. They're not just working their salary job. Everyone has some other investment or side gig that they're working away to keep food on the table. So yeah, they're the main sort of programs. We do have undergraduate programs, but our focus is in business or computing, and we have link-ups between in industry as well. So our careers team is very strong. They have a 96% placement ratio across the whole college. It's 97% for master's students. So even during COVID, even though a lot of global economies were down, the Irish economy was up, and we actually showed a just short of 4% growth rate last year, and this year it's predicted to be up above 5%. So Ireland is all about knowledge economy. So we don't have heavy industry. We're one of the highest educated populations in the world. Our education system is exceptionally strong. The government has been funding it for the last 40 years. So a lot of people in Ireland will have a degree. Some have masters. A lot of people have professional exams. I myself am qualified ACCA. So you'll find people, working that knowledge economy. So people are smart. They know what they want. They work hard, play hard. Similar to Nigeria. In Nigeria, people like to have fun as well. So Ireland is very safe. The police don't carry guns. It's a neutral country. The very good infrastructure. It's easy to walk around. Dublin's like a cultural city, so it's a walking city. So you can walk pretty much everywhere. You don't have to rely on getting buses or transport, although there is brilliant bus and train networks. And you can also bike. So a lot of people cycle around, just dedicated cycle tracks. You can get Nigerian food in Ireland as well. There's Nigerian restaurants, there's Nigerian takeout. You can go to markets. There's lots of Nigerian food shops where you can go and get your food stuff, your fufu, and down to some of the fresh markets you can get yam and stuff like that as well. But I know there's Nigerian restaurants where you can get your and there's some pre-prepared Nigerian chefs doing like jollof rice and fried beans and moi moi and all this sort of stuff as well. So you can get your you know, you won't be too lost coming to Ireland because there is a good population of Nigerians living here as well, Nigerian Irish. So when you do finish your exams, your masters here, there is stay back work options. So there's a 2-year stay back work option, but that can also be extended with a critical skilled work permit. So Ireland's small population, less than 5 million, which is about the population of Ikeja probably. and, but we're an island in the centre of the world, or on the edge of Europe. Same time zone as Nigeria, but because a lot of big companies here, there's always a demand for more and more people, and so our university don't have enough Irish graduates coming out of the university to create a talent pool. The university wants, they will need more, and because they have their European, Middle East, and African operations in Ireland. They want people from those regions as well, with cultural and language understanding as well. So if we're Nigerians coming out here and getting good jobs, you go onto LinkedIn and search NCI and look at NCI alumni, you'll see loads of Africans, Nigerians all over, and you'll see them working at all the top companies. I've seen students come in and get jobs and be sent off to America, maybe for training, and come back, and there's fantastic salaries to be got after a master's degree as well, a graduate program companies here. So there is good opportunities. It's not all in computing, even in finance, business. All the big companies, because they have their headquarters here, there's loads of different types of jobs as well. So there's a good scope for people to have work in different types of careers. So basically, you will need, if you're coming to Ireland, it's not the cheapest country in the planet, but it's not the most expensive either. But for tuition fees and living, your budget, you'll need something for tuition fees. It depends on your scholarship. You get scholarship between 11 and 13,000 euros for a master's, and about 8,000 euros for a higher diploma conversion program. And then for your living, you need about 10 to 12,000 euros for a year in Dublin. That's roughly, if you go onto the visa website, you have to pay 7,000. That covers you for Ireland. If you're in Dublin, you need to be budgeting on your sponsor. You need to have between 10 and 12,000 euros. You can get accommodation on campus, student residence next door to campus, and that's roughly about 200 a week. So about 800 a month for your accommodation. But you can find alternative accommodation. But for the moment, it's better to have your accommodation sorted before you come. I know I studied abroad when I was in college 20 years ago. It was only in France, but knowing where I was going, knowing where I was going to be sleeping when I arrived in France, having that security of knowing what my accommodation was, it made a big difference when you're going abroad. There's a bit of culture shock no matter where you go, different way of doing things, food, different type. At least you're coming to Ireland, we speak English, we don't speak any other language. When I went to France, people were speaking French, so I had to navigate through that at the time, as well as, their ways and customs of banking and doing things and CVs and all that sort of stuff. So Ireland has some sort of nuances as well, but we've a fantastic international support team. They'll help you pre-departure, and when you come in, there's a big welcome program, orientation program. So we try and make you feel settled in and make sure you're sort of oriented around the city. And we have other international students working in our international office as well to help you settle in and enjoy it.
Wow.
That's a small summary. Sorry, went off on a tangent.
I just had to keep quiet to listen to everything that you were saying, and I want to believe that everyone that is actually part of the life are quite impressed, because you've just hit so many questions that probably I have to ask. You just said everything, and I want to believe that everyone understood that and have gotten the information that they need. But then I would like to ask you if there is any program in National College of Ireland for someone with a third class. There's someone with a third class. Is there a program that he or she can attend? And then you talked about the stay back option, right? I would like
Yeah,
to know more about the resident permit, right? Because I hear that there's a resident permit for, as in after 5 years of your stay in Ireland or something. Can you please just give us a breakdown on that? And then, is it possible for, because some people are usually asking if there is a room for dependent
sure.
support now.
Okay.
So now my question
Yeah,
is,
let's.
do you have any program for someone with a third class? And then the stay back option as well, very important. We need to know
Okay.
about stay
Yeah.
back option.
No, I'll go through. I go through all those common enough questions. So we for third class we don't have an option for entry into masters. There are some institutions in Ireland where they will accept third class maybe into their higher diploma or a pre-masters. The IFC have a pre-masters program which you can do, and they have some options after the pre-masters into masters. In Ireland, I'll just jump onto the spouse question. In Ireland, the study visa is for the student only. For a study visa for a degree or master's, you cannot bring a spouse or children with you, no matter what. Even if you're very wealthy, you can't bring them. It's not about money. They're just strict on the rest. After your master's and you go into and do a PhD, then you can bring a family over with you on the PhD visa. If you progress into critical skills work permit, which most students do, and you go working in Ireland, if you go working after, some students, okay, you get a post-study work visa. Some students might just be offered a critical skills work permit, and there's certain professions and skill sets on that, such as some computing, there's nursing, medical, there's pharma, there's production managers, there's chartered accountants, there's some sales and marketing roles on there. And these are skills where the Irish government have deemed that there's a lack of available talent within Ireland and the European Union, because we're part of the European Union, and there's 27 countries in that bloc. And so this is for companies that are able to recruit from people outside of that region, and they can get them. Otherwise, they can get a graduate, and after 2 years, they can give them a critical skills work permit. If you have a critical skills work permit, you can, or stamp 4, which is permanent residency, and you can get permanent residency once you're working after your graduation for a period of 5 years. So you can you can have a family reunification visa at that point, but you can't bring in while you're studying. So yeah, you were asking about the post-study work visa and critical skills. So I kind of answered that there, but yes, if you have completed a degree, an undergraduate degree in Ireland, you get 1 year post-study work visa. If you do a master's, you get 2 year post-study work visa. And if you have a specific skill set, you can pick up a critical skills work permit. If you're doing accounting, finance, and you get a role within, say, I don't know, some of the big four like PwC or Grant Thornton, KPMG, Ernst & Young, Deloitte, or any accountancy practice for that matter, you can get a specific visa which gives you a visa for 4 years in Ireland to complete your professional accountancy exams. So you have ICANN in Nigeria, but you've also heard of ACCA. So in Ireland, you have the Chartered Accountants of Ireland, ACCA, CPA, CIMA. They're the 4 main designations. So most people will either do the Chartered Accountants or ACCA or CPA if they're working in practice. So the 4 year visa gives you time to finish your exams, and then of that visa. So there is good option for accountants. There's a lot of headquarters are in Ireland. They have their finance functions here as well. And Ireland's the biggest destination in the whole world for hedge fund administration. They've got a lot of big companies here employing tens of thousands of people. So good job opportunities in that. And accountancy is quite strong. We find a good few students coming in to do the MSc in finance from Nigeria too.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you. So, about the test of English, I'm aware that National College of Ireland waived that for the admissions, right? you waive that for admissions, but the IELTS or any other type of test of English is required
Yeah,
for visa.
if in Nigeria, if somebody studied in Nigeria, which is an English speaking country, and completed their degree there, or school there, we waive the English tests for them. However, you will need it for the visa, but you don't have to do IELTS. You can do Duolingo, which is
Yeah.
quick and simple, and they just want to make sure you have a basic level. I think their minimum is IELTS of 5. I've never seen anyone in Nigeria get less than that, unless they were blindfolded or something. So yeah, it's pretty like we know everyone in Nigeria speaks English. It's an English-speaking country, similar to Ireland. It's an English-speaking country, so it's exempt for admission, but you need it for your visa.
All right. So about the visa, what would you actually advise students who want to go for probably September intake? How many months duration would you advise? Like, would you tell them to put in the application, the visa application?
Sure. So, visa application office opened this week for the September intake. I know a lot of people in Nigeria do tend to apply later, but our classes start on the 13th September. You would need to have your visa submitted before the end of June. So pretty much, you want to apply, pay your fees. It can take, up to a week or more to do a bank transfer from Nigeria. So it's advisable applying. If you submit a full application now, you should get an offer letter back once you meet minimum entry requirements within a week. And then if you're looking at applying, paying your fee, it could take you a week to do that. Put your visa together. You'll need to sit down with Queensley and Nelson and NCI Limited and go through the finer details of the visa application form. But it could take, a week or 2 weeks to get your documents together. But the main thing that the visa office, same with visa offices all over the world, they want to be able to see that, one, you're a genuine student. You're coming to the country, to Ireland, for a purpose. The purpose is to study. Why are you doing the course? Does it tie in with your background? Why are you doing it? Personal statements, good personal statements written to state why the reasons you're picking Ireland, you're picking National College of Ireland, the course you're doing, and also have your fee paid before you apply for your visa. That's a requirement for NCI and the Irish visa. You must pay your fee in full before you apply for the visa. You have your receipt then for that, and as well, you must be able to prove you have access to a living expense of €10,000. This must be in a sponsor's account, and sponsors must have a 6-month bank statement. The end balance must be at least €10,000 or equivalent, and the sponsor must be linked to you as a person. And linked, I mean by family link. They can't be a friend in Ireland, a neighbour, somebody who's wealthy. You can't use them. They have to be a family member: mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, uncle, aunt. Could be your brother, brother-in-law, sister, sister-in-law. You can use up to 2 sponsors. And you must link it. You must show birth certificates. You probably will need to go to Nigerian Population Commission in order to get the birth certificate if the sponsor was born pre, 1960 or whatever, or recently. You might need a birth attestat. You might need to get some documents stamped in court to prove things. If your sponsor can use a business account, but they have to be the sole authorizer of that bank account that the business is using for that. If there's directors there, they have to have a memorandum of association, a board resolution meeting to say that they're okay with the CEO or whoever using the accounts for purpose of visa, and you'd want to have significant balance in the account. But the visa also wants you to explain in that 6-month bank statement any lump sums. You want explanations for lump sums. If you're using a business account and there's 50 pages and there's loads of lump sums, you're going to have to explain every single lump sum. So the best, what some people do across the world, is to have a separate savings account. They put money in it, save for the future of their son or daughter going abroad. This doesn't always happen, especially in Nigeria. I rarely see that happening. Most people do not have their money sitting in an account, so that's that's a rare situation. Usually they'll have it in business, or they liquidate a property or something to be used for students used for studying abroad, or they might have an investment bond, government bond, or something that they'll liquidate or whatever. You need to be able to. The visa office want to know where you got the money from. Money laundering is a massive thing in the visa office. Department of Justice are the people that operate the visa office in the embassy. So they have a principle, I suppose. They have to check the source of funds from where money came from. So they have to be able to check that, yes, your sponsor is legitimate sponsor, legitimately linked to you, and that you're, whatever, a genuine student, that you want to come to Ireland to study for the greater good of yourself and your career, and they want to just check that the funds were of legitimate concern, and they do that in every single embassy, every single place throughout the world. So that's just what they're looking for, and so. But their approval rate overall last year was 74%. NCI had about closer to 90%. We work with specific agents. You can go out there and find some agents that will say they haven't been working with Ireland. NCI Limited have been working with Ireland for quite a number of years and have, as far as I'm aware, 100% approval rating. They haven't had any refusals for us anyway. So they know the system inside out. I wrote the visa guide for NCI myself, so I know the visa inside out. Been working and coming to Nigeria since 2014, so I know what's required. So any funny questions, please feel free to reach out to me as well. But it's a matter of apply early. We have students that are applying already this week, so you still have time though. But you don't want to be putting in your visa application in August, late August, September, and thinking you'll get a response. You won't. You won't get a response. You won't be able to come in. We don't accept late students. You have to be coming in either for the class. Like, we recommend you come in 2 weeks before. So end of August, first week of September is the ideal time to be coming in. It's very difficult to come in the day your class will start, especially if you haven't found accommodation, get settled and open a bank account and, orientate yourself around the city and find, everything else. So it's better to come in a week or 2 weeks before. So, make sure your visa is in before the end of June is my best advice. If you're putting it in end of July, early August, we do allow a 2-week window usually for visas to overrun, but you're better off, especially if you're coming in to do masters. Masters isn't like a degree. It's a step up above a degree. It's more intense. It's more focused. There's a lot going on. And, it's very, very difficult to catch up. People always say, oh, catch up, let me come in late. And we just say, nope. Because we know for a fact, having for more than 2 weeks, they don't catch up, and they're always the ones that end up struggling. So we just don't allow it anymore. So all students are on a level playing pitch. They're all coming in at the same time. They're all in class at the same time. So it's just better for yourself, for your learning, for your journey to have that planning in place and apply early.
Okay.
And if you you can always come in your intake.
All right. Well, that's been a whole lot of information being given out and shared out, and I believe that everyone has gotten the whole information about the admissions, the visa, and I love the fact you talked about the visa requirements, the process, and how important it is for anyone who wants to go for the September intake to start applying now. And I would also want to appreciate the fact that you've actually let everyone know our credibility when it comes to assisting in the admission and the visa processing. Really appreciate you for that, and also giving us the time. So we've actually dealt with all the questions that we have.
Cool.
And I'm looking out, I really can't see. I think everyone is quite satisfied with all the information that you've given, because I can't see any question per se, aside I wish to come to Ireland. I'm in Lagos now. Okay, that should be from Taylor. Okay, please Taylor, you can actually drop us a message on your DM, and then um, we will take it up from there. I think he said he's an Indian person working in Lagos. Okay, you can actually drop us a message on our DM, and then we'll be glad to attend to you any of your questions. But aside him, every single person who have joined, I believe they actually understood every information that you must have, given us.
Hopefully, I'm speaking clearly.
Yes, they really, I think they really got everything. And then if you have anyone having any question or probably not so comfortable dropping so probably not feeling comfortable dropping the questions live, you can actually drop your questions on our DM, and then we'll be glad to, give you all the information that you need about national. Answered all the questions, and this session has been really fun and entertaining, informative, and everything. And I really appreciate. So, do you have anything you want to say before we, end the live?
Like, feel free to get in touch with me as well if you have any specific questions. Like, if you haven't done your research, do research. Look at Ireland, Google it, look up education in Ireland, look up NCI, have a look at the various options. Please feel free to reach out and get in touch with me if you have any further questions. Have a look at the courses online. The module descriptors are all up there on the website. And if you go into the international page on NCI, ncirl.ie international, you can get full information on pre-departure accommodation, life in Ireland, and some of our peer mentors who we can put you in touch with as well are from Nigeria as well. So there's no problem reaching out to them. Some people want to know, if they don't have family or friends in Ireland or people currently that they know studying in NTI. Some people, like Irish people, do that too. Is there any Irish people located in the area that I could talk to and get an Irish perspective on things? So some people like that. So I'm happy to answer any questions, like, if you're asking about cultural or course specific, and if I don't know the answer, I'll get it for you pretty quickly. So I usually respond, and people can ask me on WhatsApp or on Instagram. Just DM me as well.
Please, can you just quickly help me give Oluwakemi? She's asking, how do I become a permanent resident in Ireland after study? Can you just talk about it all over again? Just
sure.
Words, just let her know.
Yeah, I know a lot of people ask that because Canada is always offering permanent residency in certain states and stuff like that. So in Ireland, people do ask about permanent residency. I suppose the purpose of the study visa is to come and study.
After study, though. After study.
After study, there is opportunity to, finish your studies, get a job, and become part of Ireland, and maybe become a citizen of Ireland in the future. So you have a 2-year post-study work visa. It's possible to get a critical skills work permit. And once you're working full-time for 5 years after graduation, you become permanently resident. Once you're permanent resident and you've been in Ireland for 5 years working full-time, you can then apply for an Irish passport and become a citizen of Ireland. And so every year there's several thousand people become citizens of Ireland, and there's usually ceremonies throughout the country. So if you become permanent resident and obtain an Irish passport, you become part of Ireland and the European Union, so you free travel around all 27 member states. And even though Britain, UK has left Europe with Brexit, there's a special arrangement between Ireland and the UK that people can travel back and forth and work in both countries without any visa issues.
All right, I believe the information you just gave has been really helpful, and I want to believe that what she asked you, she's gotten the answer. So that should be it. Thank you, Leke_natural. He's telling you well done for the explanation on funding and sponsorship. He said, well done, Michael, for the explanation on funding and sponsorship. Thank you so much for that compliment, Vicky. And to every single person, I was a canary renew my postgraduate work after 2 years of expiration. I don't know if you
Postgraduate work
see the
permit.
last. Yes,
I know what they're saying. Postgraduate work permit after 2 years of expiration.
yes, yes, after 2 years.
It's possible. It's possible. There's like a type of green card. So if you're on a particular salary level, the company can get a visa to have your work permit renewed. If you look at DJEI critical skills work permit, or even Google the critical skills work permit Ireland, you'll see all the information and all the different types of visas up there on the government website. But there is options for your work to be extended on. If depends on what you're doing. Like a lot of stuff on healthcare, pharma, finance, computing, business. It can often be covered under critical skills. So, pre-COVID, Ireland had full employment. So there was loads of stuff sitting on the critical skills occupations list. Because hospitality disappeared because there was no tourism coming in, the unemployment rate went up to 20-something%, but it's been dropping. The Irish government gave people a payment, whoever lost their job, including people who are working part-time, and included international students, a payment of €350 per week during COVID, and that's been going on since March 2020. So, it will come back. We're running a vaccination program in Ireland at the moment. Currently, between 60 to 65-year-olds are getting their vaccine. By end of June, they reckon 80% of the adult population will have it. Also, one thing, if students are coming in September, if you are not fully vaccinated with an approved vaccine, you must do a 2-week quarantine in a hotel at your own expense. At the moment, that's priced at €1,800. If you can get a vaccine and get fully vaccinated before you come in, then you just self-isolate at home in Ireland when you arrive over. So COVID has thrown up challenges and obstacles, but, trying to move on. At the moment, that's the advice. By middle of summer, we might have surplus vaccines and the whole population might be vaccinated, and there might be vaccines for arrivals. We don't know at this stage. We've heard, stories that's possible. So at the moment, we just disclose the information and the guidelines that we have from government, and that's the current. Everybody, basically all countries are on the hotel quarantine list at the moment, unless there's no COVID in their countries like that. So, India.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. We need to end this live now, and
Sure.
because you've answered all the necessary questions. And if anyone have any more questions, they can always drop on our DM, and we'll answer every question. So thank you so much, Michael Galvin. So once again, this is Michael Galvin from National College of Ireland, and I'm Quincy from Nexi Concept Limited here in Lagos, Nigeria. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining. So we'll be live next week Wednesday again with another school, another program, another information. So do join us same time next week Wednesday. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Michael.
Este go, double.
You're welcome.